Hey, what's going on? In today's video, I want to talk about how you can start waking up at 4 a.m. Now, you might think that waking up at 4 a.m. might be impossible for you. I felt the same way as well. But once I started getting into the habit of it, I just fell in love with waking up that early because I'm able to just do so much in the morning before I even start work. So obviously it didn't start out that way. I had to work my way to that point. But a few reasons that has allowed me to, wake up at 4 a.m. pretty consistently now. One of them is just having a big enough why reason, right? If you don't have anything to shoot for, if you don't have anything to go after in your life, then there's no real point to waking up at 4 a.m., right? You can just wake up, and then if you don't feel like getting up, you can just roll over and hit snooze a few times, and then you get to the point where you have to wake up, whether it's you're going to be late for your work or whatever the case, and that gets you up. But if you have a big enough why reason, then you're going to be a lot more motivated to wake up early so you can start working on your goals. So my why reason is to move to British Columbia and then eventually buy 100 acres of land, and then from there eventually build out some Airbnbs and whatnot, build out like an off-grid area, a retreat, maybe a school of some sort or education center, because our current public education or indoctrination system, however you want to look at it, is pretty messed up, right? It doesn't really teach us any skills. So I've just realized that that's I'm going to choose that as my big why, as my mission. So for me, it's easy to wake up at 4 a.m. because I know what I'm shooting for. Another reason too is it allows me to build habits that I want to build and also build the skills that I want to build if I'm able to wake up that early, because then I'll have more time to work on that stuff. Most of the time when people want to work on something, they try and do it after their day is done. So they might finish work, get home from work. Now they're tired from a full day of working. Now they got to make dinner and eat. And by the time they're done with that, it's like 7 or 8 p.m. and their willpower is drained. And the last thing they want to do is work on any skills or get better at things. So by stacking it in the morning, that allows me to chip away at those skills and get 1% better each time, and then let that compound interest take into effect. So another reason too is, one factor to waking up at 4 a.m. is definitely going to bed earlier, right? Now, when I say wake up at 4 a.m., honestly, if you're a night person, then it might be, staying late or staying up later than what you normally would do, right? So for me, I just feel like when I stay up later, my brain just goes to mush. I can't think clearly. It's super unproductive. I'm just sleepy, so I'm not a night person. I'm more of a morning person now. And who knows? I might have trained my way to be like that. I don't know. I've been waking up at 4 a.m. for quite a while now. Probably a few years now, I think. So maybe it's something that's trainable. But definitely going to bed earlier helps to wake up earlier. So for me, the sweet spot I feel like is between 9 and 9:30. If I can go to bed at around that time, then I don't really have any issues waking up at 4 a.m. Another thing that helps me to wake up at 4 a.m. is planning my next day the night before. So if I'm able to sit down and think about what I want to do tomorrow, then that gets me excited about the different projects, and then I'm able to go to bed thinking about those things, and then when I wake up, I'm thinking about all the cool things I get to do that day. So again, that helps me get up at 4 a.m. as opposed to hitting snooze or whatnot. So another little tactic that I've used, and it's helped me a lot, is to put my alarm clock away from my dresser so I can't just roll over and hit snooze. I have to physically get up and hit the snooze button or turn the alarm clock off. And then once I'm up, right? It just feels very unproductive to go back into bed. So once I get up, I go shut the alarm clock off, and I immediately go to the bathroom, and then my day has started at that point on. Now, one unexpected way to also help you wake up at 4 a.m. is to get a cat that wakes you up at 3:30 a.m. or sometimes 4 a.m. I don't know. My cat likes to come in usually half an hour or so before my alarm clock and starts poking me. So it's pretty annoying. I don't like it, but it does kind of get me up before my alarm clock. And then now I'm just kind of in that state of being half awake, half asleep. And then once my alarm clock goes off, I'm pretty much wide awake and I can go and start my day. So I haven't fixed that issue yet. I don't know how to fix that issue of having my cat not wake me up at 3:30 or 4. But I don't know. I think it's just a matter of she sensing it's time to wake up, and then she comes and starts bugging me. So if you want to do that, you can do that as well. And a thing that for me, I think through, like, there's almost like an unfair advantage by waking up at 4, because in my mind, I know that half the world, or at least a good majority of the people kind of living in the same time zone, they're still sleeping, right? So for me, I'm up early. I get to start my day. I get to start working on my habits. I get to start working on my skills, start learning things, reading, meditating, and all that stuff, yoga, fitness. All that is done before I even start work. And then that just builds a lot of momentum for me. And then by the time I start working, I'm wide awake. I've completed so many things, and I'm ready to take on the day. And then that way, when I'm done work, I don't have to worry about summoning willpower to try and do the things that I want to do. It's already taken care of right in the morning. So those are a few tips. I'm just checking my notes here to see if I missed anything. Oh, one thing too you can do is before you go to bed, it's just to prime your subconscious and tell it that you're going to wake up at 4 a.m. Right? Give yourself the instruction that you're going to wake up at 4 a.m. and then your brain will automatically work itself out to help you get up at 4 a.m. a lot easier. I know there's like tricks of people waking up without an alarm clock and just telling their subconscious to wake up at a certain time, and then they wake up at that certain time. I haven't done that yet. I don't know if I trust myself at that level yet, but our subconscious mind is super powerful, and it can do a lot of things that our conscious mind can't do. So those are some tips and strategies on how to wake up at 4 a.m. If that's something you want to do, I would definitely start slow and start waking up maybe 10 minutes, 20 minutes, or half an hour earlier, and start getting used to that for maybe a week or so, and kind of work your way backwards. And also have a plan to fill that extra time so that when you do wake up early, you're excited and you know exactly what to do with that extra time. That way you're not tempted to just hit snooze and go back to sleep. So I hope that helps. I'll see you in the next video.